Morning, guys. Good morning. All right, stream's working. Get started in just a couple minutes here. Mhm. A little bit of a lighter crowd than usual today. Chat was a little quiet this morning. Does my audio sound okay, guys? I was messing with some settings last night for that video. I want to make sure it sounds kind of the same as yesterday. Didn't mess anything up. Cool, thank you. Just waiting for TSDR. I mean, I'll probably talk about some stuff before he gets on, but yeah, chat was pretty quiet this morning, which I mean, I'm glad to see. I mean, it's not really a time to be pushing it too hard right now. I've been scanning for an hour or two and really not seeing much out there, to be honest. At least as far as today goes. Um, so I'm not surprised to see the chat a little bit quiet this morning. Had a couple notable earnings reports this morning. Nothing super notable as far as, big headlines go or anything. Pretty quiet in small cap land and pre-market. Volume pretty low this morning. Index is down just a tad. What's Armand got here? Some highlights from MBIS earnings. Wouldn't be the least bit surprised if this pre-market kind of quietness is foreshadowing a little bit of a slower day today. Is a bank holiday today, Veterans Day. Index is kind of set to just open in the middle of yesterday's range. If anybody does happen to be watching any setups today, feel free to post them in the chat. Can go over them, take a quick look. Yo, I saw SoftBank sold their Nvidia stake. I think I saw that this morning. Is that correct? On my trade exchange. I think Nvidia's gapping out a little more than the indexes. Yeah, about 2%. Yeah, IBM does look good. I saw Chartmaster posting that this morning. Yeah, NBIS was kind of the big report this morning at around 7 a.m. Sold off down to 100, rebounded a little bit, was kind of all over the place, but uh, it's up a little bit now, kind of starting to find some support. Saw they announced an agreement to deliver AI infrastructure to Meta, valued at approximately 3 billion over 5 years. Got a couple notes here just from what I saw. Armand posted some more notes in the Discord as well. Rocket Lab had earnings, I think, after hours yesterday, gapping up 9% into the declining 20-day moving average. Um, Probably not much to do there. CoreWeave down on earnings. I think this was after hours yesterday too, down about 9%. Um, just a broken chart for now. Would be fun if this shapes up at some point, because it is a fun trader when it's going, but for the time being, not on the list. And then SE as well, kind of all over the place. Sold off a little bit initially, reclaimed the 200-day in pre-market, up about 2.5%. But I think MBIS could be worth watching today. I saw Dark commented on this saying he bought a little bit in the pre-market. It's holding up well. It's based in this $100 level. This range up here is a little wide and loose for me, to be honest. I'd be more interested if this could build up the right side and start to tighten up a little bit. Um, Really wide. I'd like to see how it does today. Probably not looking to like buy it or anything, but but it is shaping up. It is interesting. Just a little wide and loose. We need tight. Yeah, Viper, 100%. Yeah, I mean, I kind of mentioned in the end of my kind of post-market video last night that I posted. It's something me and TSDR kind of want to start doing going forward. We usually hop off Zoom around like 12, 1 o'clock, and the last 2 hours of the day we're kind of just sitting there scanning on our own. So we figured we'd put these little videos together, just short 10 to 15 minutes, little post-market recap. Um, and I just kind of talked about how this is a super kind of slow period right now. Things can change quick, but for the time being, Stephen Place actually had a really good kind of midday video yesterday. He does those, spaces. He's live on YouTube and Twitter around, I think, noon Eastern each day, where he kind of just covers some different topics on what he's seen in the market. And he had some pretty good takes yesterday. I think it was a little bit longer than usual. He did about 45 minutes yesterday. If it's slow today, highly recommend you go check it out. But he was talking about how we are in a little bit more of like a wide range kind of mean reversion type market ever since kind of this, big bad break in October. Participants have been, kind of paying up for hedges and volatility, and it's kind of causing this, whipsaw action. And yeah, might be tough to find some like really directional momentum for now. Um, so yeah, it's kind of a tough spot. But I'm optimistic that the chat is pretty quiet and activity is low and numbers are low on streams and stuff, because uh, that tells me that sentiment is nowhere near kind of what you see when the market peaks. Could also mean that things could start to get hot pretty soon. So we'll see. Stephen Place, Convex Spaces, I think is what his little segment is called. Yeah, I'll let TSDR talk on the Argentinas group when he comes on, because I know he's been watching these like super closely. Um, I don't know if it's really my style. We'll see how they shape up. Um, I can't say I know enough about or have enough conviction to get involved. Probably would have liked to get involved in the EP day. Honestly, after seeing Killakai in the chat kind of talk about his play he had on some of these Argentinas and, speculating a little bit ahead of the election, that seemed like more the play to me. That was like some really great kind of looking ahead into, possible big catalysts and how these charts were shaping up in these bases with this volume. Would have liked kind of getting involved down here and then maybe adding more as it kind of, the story kind of confirmed. Yeah, SNDK was going to be on watch if we got kind of that gap up in the market, but it's gapping down this morning. Um, Probably not going to do anything with it today. Maybe it can set up into the end of the week, but for now, this gap down resets it a little bit. Not going to touch that. Um, Not saying it's not a short here, but that's just not in my playbook. So, um, not to mention the pre-market movers list that I sent out every morning. I sent out a list of the top pre-market large cap, small cap gainers and losers each morning. It's one of the shortest lists I've seen in quite some time. So not much going on in the pre-market like at all today, which I think could be foreshadowing something. I'd really, if we do pull back, I'd look for this open gap to hold on the market from yesterday. Yesterday's low is going to be probably a spot to watch. 20 EMA as well, but it's probably going to be a pretty slow day for me. I mean, I don't have a single setup that I'm looking at today to get involved in. Um, that could change by the end of the day. Obviously, you never know, what happens, but I kind of expect to just watch things again very similar to yesterday. So just one of those periods for me. Um, Not seeing much. Was able to take a few things off my list yesterday that didn't act right, so slim that down a little bit. Probably gonna watch some of the earnings today and see how those react because some of these earnings reactions, like I discussed yesterday in that video, have been some of the better movers the last kind of couple days. Like for example, SEDG or Rivian or D-Dog, whatever it may be, Unity. Probably worth watching some of those earnings reports today and how they act throughout the day. But that'll probably be it for me. Hey JJ, no, I was just saying there's no setup on SNDK for me. I was watching it, um, but yeah, nothing there for me right now. I mean, I'd still have to say that my kind of best case scenario on the market would be to pull back, take out Monday's lows and start to backfill into this gap and higher low somewhere into another some sort of trap or something that looks kind of scary and shakes some people out, gives us another place to kind of risk off of. It's just kind of no man's land up here right now. Gold and silver. Um, Gosh, no thoughts. I think that, gosh, I don't have any strong thoughts here. This looked like a really, really big blow off. A lot of volume traded at the highs as this came down. My natural kind of chart instincts tell me that this is going to put in a lower high somewhere and either base for a while or continue lower. Um, then again, these really parabolic trends can go a lot further than you think, especially when they're kind of macro driven. So yeah, it's just no edge there for me right now. I don't have any strong thoughts. Think you're seeing a little bit of like a short squeeze on it right now, where a lot of people who were maybe late to the short thought this was going to roll over and it didn't. And you get, that wedge pop action as people are kind of caught off sides yesterday. Some continuation today. Does look like a wedge pop for now, short term, yeah. It's just well off the highs, and this is a really short base, so likely going to run into some harsh sellers again pretty soon. Melly, I've never traded Melly, and I'm not gonna lie, like this is like nothing against you or anything, but just looking at the chart, this is like one of the ugliest charts I've ever seen. And I honestly don't know how anyone could trade this unless you just like buy the 200-day undercuts. But like I don't see how there's any edge in trading this personally. Um, Looks more of like maybe an investment to me if you have like conviction in it, but like this just looks like a disaster. I mean, it's not the most liquid name, very high price stock. It just seems all over the place. I mean, I don't even see like I mean, it's been strong for a couple of years. I know Short Bear's pretty big on this long term, but um, for trading it, this looks like one of the worst stocks ever to trade. Um, that's my thoughts on that. GEV, Yeah, GEV is interesting. I will say, anytime this has made a pretty big move, the setup has been pretty obvious and it's set up really nice. It's below the 50 day for now. It's kind of just been chopping down since earnings. Um, Might just need more time. I don't have any strong thoughts on it right now. Um, you know, Given that it's kind of been one of the big leaders since really since it IPO'd, you kind of got to give it the benefit of the doubt. But doesn't look ready to do anything to me at the time. Just needs to build out some more range or something, give us a little more to work with, my opinion. I mean, it's been trading inside the earnings bar for like, what, 13 days now? Yeah, Grab does look pretty good, actually. This is actually another stock that I've never traded. The chart's been very constructive, really ever since it came out of this base. It just has these really long, big bases and a little bit of a slower mover, 26-cent ATR. Makes pretty good moves when it goes. It just takes time. It does look good though. Been trading some decent volume since earnings. Again, not one of the more very liquid names, but I don't know. Part of me thinks we could maybe like get a little slow drift up, maybe like an inside day today. I mean, I don't know. Really anything. I just like the fact that like I feel like anything can happen just tells me that like really don't have like an edge right now, and I probably just want to take things pretty slow. Path. I don't know, man. This like I mean, if this was gonna go, I'm not sure why it didn't hold up here and base up higher. I know they had that announcement, they had that partnership with Microsoft or something on Friday, but I don't know. Back into the base in no man's land. I don't see anything to do on it right now. I think it had its chance back here to go and it failed. And uh, to me, when I look at this chart and the highest volume of the entire run at the high, it tells me a lot of people are trapped in this, and it's going to take some time to kind of get rid of that overhead supply. Crowd. Yeah, crowd looks good. I mean, this group has been really strong. Crowd, ZS, D-Dog. I mean, all trading sitting at all-time highs. D-Dog not quite, I don't think. Yeah, it just made all-time highs yesterday. So this is sitting at all-time highs, but one of those groups that I'm not the biggest fan of trading personally. To me, I mean, I think Crowd back in like 2023, maybe early 24 was a little bit of a better trader. Um, it's pretty strong though. Just coming out of a short flag, really strong. Probably probably can continue to trend if the market holds up. Pump, yeah, I know a lot of people are watching this. Kind of concerns me a little bit. I mean, in a market like this, right? When you have very, very few setups, right? The ones that look the couple that look the best, right? Often get overcrowded pretty easily and end up being like decoys and they set traps. So not surprised this is having a little bit of trouble, and I wouldn't be surprised if it either fails to break out or pulls back a little further. It doesn't mean you can't try it, but it's just important to be mindful of an environment when there are very few setups that even the best looking ones automatically go from like an A to like a B or a C, right? And that's that quote from People Wish that he talks about having very few setups on your watch list should be viewed as having none. Most of the time, those good setups end up being decoys or traps. If the market starts to shape up and we get more setups, this is like a relative strength name that really could probably outperform, but it's just something to be mindful of. Remember, length and quality of your watch list is going to be your best indicator on the kind of environment we're in. Yeah, GSAT's been super strong. I don't really know much about this company. Yeah, this SATS, I know TSDR has been watching this trend line here, and a lot of people have, but God, I can't trade something like this unless I bought it on the EP day. WCC. WCC does look pretty nice. The only issue I have when I look at a stock like this is like obviously like one of the most important aspects of like a setup or a stock, unless it's had like an episodic pivot, is its chart history. And I look back at this and like, does this look like a stock that I want to be involved in? You know what I mean? Like just the the characteristics of it. Like sure, it's made a couple really strong moves, but then it has like these 30% gap downs out of nowhere on multiple occasions, not just once, right? To me, that's very important. Like it has multiple massive linear trends that have lasted for, months and stuff like that. Now it is at all-time highs. It looks like it had good earnings and a solid reaction. Could be changing a little bit, but that's just something I like to look at personally, and I give a lot of weighting to, maybe more than others personally. But to me, charts history is more important. Like, do I want to trade something that looks like this and looks like Melly, this kind of trend, or do I want to trade, something like an IonQ that can do this, you know, or like an MBIS that has big multi-month momentum moves, um, or like an OKLO or something. Obviously, these are like the best stocks at all of them, so it's kind of a little bit unfair the comparison. But I mean, hey, you choose what you trade, right? Best kind of edge we have as retail traders is being able to go cash as quick as we can and choosing when to not participate would be wise to protect that edge. CX, never heard of it. Hmm. Looks pretty good, pretty slow mover. Looks like it's been in a base since 2008, 17 years, making multi-year highs. Looks decent, not something I'd trade, but I could see if you're interested in it. What is this basic materials sector? No offense, I think this could work, and it could probably continue out of this little flag, and I see why you're watching it. But if this is a stock that we're watching right now, just kind of goes to show you what kind of market we're in and how maybe dry the opportunity set is. And that is not ripping anybody or anything at all. Like, I get why you're watching this. I see why you're attracted to it and why it could work, and I'm sure it could continue to trend. But if this is on our watch list, or we're looking at like Melly, or WCC, not that these aren't good setups and that they won't work. It's just that like if these are top stocks that are being mentioned this morning, like do I even want to be trading at all? You guys get my mindset? And I'm not even trying to be like rude about any of these setups or anything at all. Because these are some of the better looking setups out there right now, but just the fact that these are some of the best setups should be a really big signal as how limited the opportunities are at the moment. And I don't know. I just think it's just always a good signal. You guys get what I mean, right? Like when TSDR starts to bring up healthcare stocks, I know I shouldn't. I should just be chilling. I want to be trading when TSDR is talking about like an MBIS and you know uh, MVTS or all these momentum names are going. Zeta, yeah, Zeta does look interesting. It's one of those kind of delayed earnings reaction potential setups that we've seen some good follow through on the last couple of days. Probably worth watching. Mexican grocery stores, yeah. Yeah, RGTI is down on earnings this morning. What did they miss EPS by like 1,000% or something? Meta's getting a little bit of volume in the pre-market. All right, guys, we got 3 minutes to open. I think TSR is going to be on a little bit. He's dealing with something right now. I'm going to go fill up my water and actually put on a sweatshirt because it's freezing in my office right now. My hands are frozen. So I'll be back in like 3 minutes for market open, and we'll see what the day has to offer. Let me do this real quick.